Monza, Italy. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk F1. Italy started off with a bang in the truest sense. Huge crash for Kimi Antonelli in FP1 after taking control of George Russell's car. Some might think this isn't the best way to show we are ready for the huge seat to fill at Mercedes. And I would have to agree. We saw Toto Wolff coming over the radio assuring the young Kimi that it's all good, it's all good. Not sure George would agree with that sentiment, but still, do you think this was hurting his chances to replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes? I guess we'll eventually find out, and we did. F1 announcing that Kimi Antonelli will race for Mercedes come 2025 over the weekend on IG. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below about this decision. How do you think Kimi will stack up against George? I have to say, I like seeing Kevin Magnussen signing autographs for some fans right after his crash during practice. I guess he figures, hey, I might not be in F1 next season, so why not? But more on Kevin in a bit. Speaking of us, I am very interested to see how well Ollie Beerman and Esteban will get on during the 2025 season. Should be interesting to see. Don't you agree? Let's briefly talk about quali. A bit of a surprise for Red Bull, starting 7th and 8th for the Grand Prix. The other teams way ahead in track position, in straight line speed, in strategy, you name it. Tire degradation. That McLaren is a rocket ship at the moment as we see both papaya cars in 1st and 2nd for the race. Now, a lot happened during the race in Monza. We saw Red Bull going for the one stop with the hard tires at the start, with majority of the field going for medium tire, but they quickly switched strategies to a two-stop, which you saw Max and Sergio Perez coming in for the hard tire on the second stint. Poor start once again for Lando Norris from pole position. Quite a brave move from Piastri to overtake his teammate on lap 2. Doubt that was even in the driver's team briefing. Maybe they are allowed to race, but it certainly seemed a surprise to Lando, I am sure. Should George have come in to change the damaged wing after making contact? Once the end plate went flying, Mercedes claimed the wing was still performing, so they left it alone until his next pit stop. Now, we saw Sergio talking to his team engineer, talking about the safety car in front of him, which was George. But Sergio managed to overtake George on lap 11, with George finally changing the wing on lap 12, dropping a huge amount of places coming back on track in P16. Tough for UK to retire on lap 8 after that collision with Nico Hülkenberg, resulted in a 10-second penalty for Nico, which I think was fair. I don't think UK was at fault any at all. Interesting to see Norris struggling to slow down to the pit lane speed limit to the point of hitting the bollard. Did he get down to the 80 kph in time? I think he barely made it, but I think he did. The move to pit early on lap 15 was to undercut Leclerc, which worked brilliantly. Leclerc was not amused by the fact they pitted and came out behind Lando, so what was the point of Ferrari pitting? Did Ferrari make the right move? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What was also interesting was the McLaren team radio message to Lando about papaya rules, basically saying don't overtake Piastri, but they were cleared later on to race each other. Is that the team order? Maybe it is. Not sure how Lando would have felt about that one. Red Bull double stack on lap 24 and 25, but go again for the hards as we mentioned earlier. Interesting how the tire degradation was so high that Red Bull saw it necessary to do a two-stop. And of course the rules are from F1 that you need to run 2 different tire compounds, hence going from hard to hard and then medium later on in the race. Surprise win for Ferrari at home, especially after pitting before Lando. So it was a surprise win for them in Monza after pulling off the one stop. The McLaren secured P2 and P3 from some good constructor points. Was it well deserved for Charles? Your thoughts in the comments below. Finally, we see K-Mag with the race ban due to reaching the max penalty points of 12 and will therefore miss the next race. Should be interesting how Haas deals with that. But please consider subscribing. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to check out our other episodes and hit that subscribe button for more F1 content. Share your comments below and join the F1 discussion. Also check out our car merch at ModzCity.com. We feature some F1 inspired merch as well. Thanks so much for watching. This is Let's Talk F1.